Hello everyone, how are you today, Monday the 2nd of March? Owen Jennings, your spiritual guide and your empowerment coach, coming in with the energies of this week from Monday the 2nd of March until Sunday the 8th of March 2026. Happy March everybody. Certainly where I am in Hertfordshire, the sun has been shining today and it really makes me feel hopeful that spring is finally on its way, and I hope that wherever you are you're feeling that too. And even if you haven't got the weather, maybe you're feeling that in your energy field. You may just be feeling a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more optimistic, um, because the energies this week really support feeling a bit more optimistic, and they also invite us to um, really trust our inner knowing, and to really trust our intuition, especially when it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, this week's energies are really inviting you to trust yourself. And I know that can sometimes be difficult, but we've all got intuition. It's our inner GPS system, it's our roadmap. And, if only we trusted it more, we'd be further along, probably. Yeah, on our soul's pathway. And we're being invited this week to come back onto our soul's pathway if we haven't been on it as much, and to really connect in with what our soul wants, what our soul journey wants for us. I'm actually getting quite goosebumpy when I talk about that. Um, so for me, because sometimes I like to share with you, don't I, how I'm feeling. Not because it's all about me, because it isn't, but because if I'm feeling it, maybe you are. And I feel like parts of my work and parts of my life have kind of not gone off track, but they've perhaps gone on a little journey in a slightly different direction. And I really feel now like my intuition and my soul self is going, hang on a minute, where have you gone? You know, it's time to come back to you. It's time to really keep going with where you were heading before. So I don't know when I got distracted, but I obviously did. So now it's the energy this week is all about pulling you back on track, if you like, with your soul self and what your soul self is here to do, what your soul self wants for you. So today, as I understand it, Mars goes into Pisces, which is driven and motivated, but it's driven and motivated intuition because it's in Pisces, and of course Mars is fire and drive. So this really supports, what I'm saying about trusting your inner knowing. I feel like a lot of us will be feeling like we have a bigger desire to connect to our soul self. Who actually are we? Don't forget, you're here as a human, but you're a soul first. So you're having a human experience. Okay. So your soul really knows what it wants for you. And your intuition is the language that you hear when it's talking to you. It's your voice, right? It's not somebody else's. It's not your spirit guides. It's not your angels, or they may well be they will be supporting you. But your soul voice, your higher self voice, is your intuition. Okay, so if we could all just listen to that more, um, that would make our lives, I was going to say easier, because it's not, but then again, it's not always easier, because sometimes we're being asked to do things that either don't make any sense, or go in a direction that doesn't make sense, or make a choice that is scary. But actually, it does know it's a greater power than our logical mind, and it's easier to believe our mind than our body and our intuition. But actually, often our mind is driven by fear and ego, right? So we have a massive, massive. We're still in eclipse season. We're coming towards the end of this round of eclipse season. But tomorrow we have the Virgo full moon. So that's the 3rd of March, total lunar eclipse. Get my words out. It's a big energy of endings. Now, all full moons are endings quite often, but this in particular. Um, Now, the interesting thing about this is Mercury is retrograde and Mercury rules Virgo, and the moon is in Virgo. So, this is a reality check. So, Virgo wants you to detox your life, spring clean, have a really good look at what's in the way of your next steps. If you follow Kirsty Gallagher, you'll know like the nodes, we're moving more towards Pisces in terms of the moon nodes. And of course, we're in Pisces season, so the sun is in Pisces. So there's this real push-pull energy going on, sorry. So Pisces wants us to trust, okay? And Virgo, I'm a Virgo, is good at overthinking, over analyzing, and needs a plan, right? But we're being asked to let go of that, okay? And Mercury going backwards is giving us the time to slow down and really tune into our intuition. And then for the rest of the week, there's lots of other major things going on as far as I understand it with the planets as well. And there are all the theme is basically about choosing yourself. So, and there's this invitation to say yes to something that is purely for you, that is purely in your benefit, for your benefit, sorry. So, and there's a sense of optimism coming in this week. And I'm sure some of it is because we are starting to see lighter evenings and all the rest of it. But it's also this energy that's really pushing us now to choose our pathway, which should be in alignment with our soul, should most definitely be in alignment with our intuition, and to keep going, you know, and to trust and to let go and to be more Pisces. And I also feel a lot of us, if we do this week, and we should have been building up to this anyway, you're going to get some really clear downloads by the weekend. And you're going to know for sure what you're leaving behind and what you're carrying on with, or you're starting kind of new, something new. All right. But it is a good time to just clear the clutter mentally, physically, emotionally. Really good time to just go, okay, let's tune into my body. What do I need? And a really good way of doing that is by slowing yourself down, you know, find some time, slow yourself down, do some deep breathing, really connect in, hopefully with yourself. Place your feet on the ground, connect into the earth. I mean, you can be in your home, you don't have to be outside, but just really connecting into the earth, grounding, taking some deep breaths, bringing your energy back to yourself. And a good way is to put one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and just really, you know, breathe into that and feel how your body feels when it's breathing, especially when you're deeply breathing, and just really noticing what your body's doing. And then maybe if you've got a question for yourself or you need to make a decision, you can ask your body what the right answer is. You're asking your intuition actually, but you're trusting, you're using your embodied intuition, right? Last week we talked about this in the first call in my embodied intuition course, and it's amazing how just this little exercise brings you back to yourself. So if nothing else, try this, okay? We also have the Queen supporting all of this. Sorry, the sun is out, so the light on my screen is not so great. We have the Queen of Cups. Now, she's all about her intuition. We've got water, which is very spiritual, go with the flow. She's really tuned in. So this is how you need to be this week, okay? I don't mean go and sit in some water, because that is what she looks like she's doing. But she's definitely taking time to tune into herself. Okay? And then and then she takes steps forward based on how she's feeling. Okay, and then we have the Hermit. Now this is not as so, you know, as I said to you, we're moving forward with our soul's plan, but the Hermit also is reflective, and it may well be that you don't take all the steps this week, but that you just take some time to get the plan right for you. And I don't mean the plan in terms of a Virgo plan. I mean the general theme of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to leave behind. And in this card, you know, it's one of the major cards in the tarot. But look at the light. Look at the light that's emitting from that. Can you see? So this would also be good for the world right now. You know, I don't want to go on about what's going on in the world, but it's fairly volatile, isn't it, at the moment? So the more we can be in tune with ourselves, the more that we can be the light for others. Like, so, you know, if you were lost, you could see that light, couldn't you? The more we can study things a little bit with our own energy, and for us to send hope and prayers, or however you want to think of them, and light to the areas that most need them at this time in the world would be a really good thing to do right now. So maybe do that as well. But yeah, a really good week. I think you're going to get lots of insights, you know, in your personal life as well. Which of course, because it's all about you moving forward in an intuitive, soul-led way. So I am wishing you a wonderful week. You know, if you need any support, I'm here to help you. I do have my embodied intuition course, which has just started, but I can also work with you one-to-one if that's something you want to do, you know, to work with, to develop your, not to develop, to just bring you back to your intuition. Or you might want a clarity, an insight call where you know, where I use my intuition to help you. You know, I'm here. I want to help as many of you as possible to live from this place of inner authority. All right, so I wish you well. I wish you an amazing week, and I'll be back next week. Bye for now.